Well, it's Christmas Eve. Like they always say, it's the day before Christmas. Anything could happen. So today, we're going to do only two reviews for all of you. The first one is from Stardom from their annual Year-End Christmas night. As you know, they return back to Korakuen Hall. This one features, of course, two title matches, the High Speed Belt and the Future Belt. The question we ask ourselves with that one, we will see title exchanges or the same wrestlers will reign supreme. And then, of course, the main event features, of course, a prelim before Dream Queendom. As you all know, Cosmic Angel members, better known as Meltier, Tam Nakano with the red belt, and Natsupoi with the white belt, defend their belts at that day, but they face against their opponents in a tag team. As you know, two people who are from two different units. That's going to be interesting to, of course, review. But we also will be reviewing NXT. As you probably can figure out, we're almost there to New Year's Evil, so anything could happen. We do have a number one contendership for the NXT Tag Team titles. Who will be the lucky recipients to challenge Axiom and Nathan Frazier, who've been lucky so far despite their disagreements? Well, we'll see how that will progress. We also, of course, have the Heritage Cup tournament, but also Trick Williams wants to address the elephant in the room, which is, of course, Eddie Thorpe's BS nonsense, but at the same time, he has to deal with Obafemi, his opponent at New Year's Evil. So we'll see what happens until then. But for an added bonus, there's no news updates for today. So let's get ready for another episode of the Lead Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Lead It Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling, that is AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling views from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world. Pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. Well, there's no news update today. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions been set aside. I believe if you guys are not on the naughty list today in Santa's not nice list, well, you're just in luck. So, let's begin with our very first review, and I believe it's Stardom. Okay, Stardom. New Year End Christmas night. Sorry couldn't find the poster for that, but I decided to put the group shot that was added at the end of the event, but that's close enough. Now, of course, like any other event, this is the big show they do during Christmas time in Stardom. What's interesting, they had a exhibition match with Michael as the special guest referee. It seems that we have two brand new trainees named Akira and Yuria. So don't know much about them, but I can tell you that this match ended in a 5 minute time limit draw. We're yet to see more about them, so I wouldn't be surprised that we will see them make their debut soon enough in a new blood event. So that is something we can expect down the line. Now let's jump into the main card of the event. We have the High Speed Championship on the line. Mei Seita defends her belt against Momokogo. Now, this is not Momokogo's first rodeo for the high speed belt. We know she has challenged it before. Many times she attributes her trip down in Mexico as a way to, how to say that it fits perfectly for her. So those who don't know this, Momo Kogo actually did went to Mexico when she was still actually before, this prior before she ever joined Stardom, and that played out pretty well. But I wasn't too sure if Momo was able to pull it off. I think there were a lot of high expectations with Momo for a long time, but fortunately, Mei Seita was able to defeat her when she applied the ultimate shooting star, and just like that, it was over. She retained the belt. Now, I don't know what she said during the promo, the post match promo, but I'm sure we'll figure that out. Our next match, we have the members of Hate, consistent of Fukigen Death, Azusa Inaba, and Rina taking on EXV's Rian, Hanako, and Waka Tsukiyama. Now remember, Hanako issued the challenge for the New Blood Tag Team belts, but Rina was telling them that the results will be the same like last time. But of course, this is just a prelim. It's more like who it's going to get the momentum for their upcoming tag match that takes place on the 26th. However, it was Azusa that was able to pick up the win when she applied a pretty devastating knee strike to Waka, and just like that, Rena was giving the message saying the results will be the same. So we'll see how that will progress. Our next match, we have a very interesting three-way match. We have Matoi Hamabe versus Koguma versus Kashima. Now, you all know that Kashima, she is, well, she's the most sneakiest person on the planet. But when it comes to Koguma, well, she will not have her day unless someone does the Kuma dance with her. So Matoi was one of those people, as you probably can guess, was not into it just yet or caught on. But however, things turn a little interesting because Kashima wasn't having it. So what she did is she left, like saying, "Nope, I'm out of here." So she decided to go up the stairs, up to the audience. I don't know what she was doing. I don't know if she was hiding from Koguma, and I thought it was dumb. But when Koguma saw her, was like, "You can't hide from me." She tried to run. Matoi even showed up. So it dragged on from there. But the one thing that was interesting is this: Koguma had Matoi right what she wanted her. She put on, of course, the diving body press, which was her one of her signature moves. Apparently, Kashima covered her with Santa's bag, and then she covered her herself. So basically, Kashima sneakily stole the match. So just like that. So I thought it was pretty funny. Now, our next match is a three-way trios match. Team number one, representing God's Eye, we have all the way from Diana, Manami, Ranayagami, and Tomoka Inaba. They take on Kohaku. She teams up with Neo Genesis, Suzuki, and Azumi versus the Cosmic Angels, Aya Sakura, Yuna Mizumori, and Sayuri Anu. So you probably can guess that this is going to be a very, very tough challenge to walk out. So that kind of plays out in every way possible. You wouldn't expect, okay, who's going to walk out? There was a moment with four ladies already trapped, and Yuna Mizumori was about to do whatever she was intending to do, but that failed. But in the end, it was Sayuri Anu who actually picked up the win when she applied the pottering onto Inaba, and just like that, it was over. Next match, we had a very interesting match. We have God's Eye, consistent of Saya, Lady C, and Hina. They take on stars Azuki and Santa Mayu Iwatani. Yes, she dressed up in a Santa sort of outfit, and I thought the match was pretty good. I thought it was really fun. But it was Mayu who picked up the win when she applied a moonsault on Hina, and just like that, it was over. Now, our next match, this one is a very interesting one. We have a combination of various people. Team number one, Mina Shirakawa, making her return after being here in the States. She teams up with Wing Gori from the Stars, Saya Ida and Hina. She also, we have Micah, Mina's teammate from EXVs, and of course, Shuri. They're facing against Hate, Raka, Konami, Momo Watanabe, Tekla, and Natsuko Tora. So you probably can get that all these, that of course, this combination of members from Stardom facing off against Hate, which is the team that are causing nothing but problems. So that's always been one of those things that you would mention. But however, this match went out of control at some point when everybody were fighting outside the ring. It ended in a double countout after 14 minutes and 43 seconds. Now, I would have presumed that maybe the time limit draw was 15 or possibly 20. I'm not sure. But that's how it ended right there. So, just like that. However, Stardom did receive a very interesting video message from our current ROH Women's World Champion, Athena. It appears that she will be making her presence known on January 3rd at New Year's something. She teams up with Tekla, so the real question, who will be her opponent? I don't know. That's something we will see there. Now our next match, it's a very interesting one. I think many of us we're hoping to see this one. We had the future championship on the line. Miyu Amasaki makes her first title defense against Sayaka Kurara, where she picked up the win in an elimination match. Now, I want to point something out to all of you that I don't know if anybody noticed. Did you guys notice Kurara's brand new gear? I thought it was pretty good, but someone pointed out something very interesting. Let me see if I can find it. No, I saw it on X today. Okay, Kurara's gear. Notice that. Anybody notice that? Yep. Apparently, it turns out that Kurara, her brand new gear, was inspired with the same black and white gear that Tam Nakano wore when she was still with Stars. And according to what people were saying, Azumi was in fact surprised uh, seeing that. So it makes sense. Many of you who remembered, I mentioned this time again, Kurara's match that convinced her to become a pro wrestler was the finals of the 5-star Grand Prix in 2022. And you all know who was involved in that match, Julia and Tam Nakano. So it will make absolute sense on that. And the match itself was pretty good. I mean, it's interesting because we already reached the 1 year anniversary for Kurara. As you all know, she wrestled around this very same time over almost a year ago, and it makes a perfect setting. I mean, we saw Ayasaka gain a brand new gear, but we never knew why Kurara hasn't. So it might have been a special occasion. So I have to say her gear was pretty good. I like it, but the match itself was pretty good. It was exactly what we probably would have hoped, but unfortunately, this match ended in a time limit draw. So no, not bad. It was ended in the Tenzai by Miyu Masaki. I thought it was a pretty good one. But however, this match also showed that Kurara has grown a lot. We have seen her. I mean, a lot of people don't see her that. How do I say this? she has what it takes, but she's shown a lot. I mean, her spears are so, how to say, flawless. We've seen her how she did it. I mean, Tam even talks about it. So I'm sure she will become future champion, but it's not right now. I think maybe in a year or so, or maybe before then. I don't know, but we'll see. But of course, Kuraro will not stop from there. We know she'll push herself. We know she can do it. I'm sure around this time she should be able to grow significantly. So we'll see how things will grow. Now, our main event, we have Starlight Kid and Sayaka Mitani teaming up, which was unusual. We know these two have faced off each other, but it's very interesting. They face against their opponents at Dream Queendom, Mel Tears or Cosmic Angel members Natsupo and Tam Nakano. But of course, we know that Kamitani is determined to destroy Tam, blaming her for what happened last year. So that's like the factor that's been played. But however, it was Tam that was able to pick up the pinfall on Kamitani. But towards the end, we did see, of course, hate to make the retaliation until members from, of course, who have their disdain towards hate just appeared. So this is not over by a long shot. But we'll see what happens down the road. So I thought it was pretty good. So I think that's pretty much it. So we end things here and move on with NXT. Okay, NXT. Well, as you all know, we are getting close now. And I believe this is the go home show before New Year's Evil. So a lot of things could happen before then. But let's begin with our first match. Our first match is Stephanie Vakir versus Cora Jade. Now, as you know, Cora Jade is back on a mission, but Stephanie Vakir is there to prove one thing, that she is the best in the world. She did not become that way overnight. It took a bit of time. But however, will that be put through the test? Well, that kind of did when she put her in that pile drive backbreaker on her and back neck breaker on her, and just like that, it was over. However, when Cora Jade thought, oh, this thing between her and Stephanie was done, she was viciously attacked by Kelani Jordan with the kendo stick. And of course, Stephanie Vakir, being concerned, tried to calm her down. But of course, that did not stop. Later on, we did see, of course, Stephanie Vakir tried to reason with Kalani Jordan about her attitude. Even Lola Vice thought the same thing too. But seems that Kalani Jordan has let it loose frustrations. I think this whole thing began when she was unable to regain the NXT Women's North American title, or win the Iron Survival Challenge qualifier match against Julia. So that kind of fell down in dominoes. And I think many people could say maybe there is a strong chance she could jump into heel. We just got to wait and see how things will progress from here on out. Now, of course, many of you may know there is a number one contendership for the NXT tag team titles, and amongst them is the D'Angelo family. Of course, Luca Crucifino and Stax are amongst those, and of course, there's feeling, that Santa came home early for some early Christmas presents. Maybe so, but we'll see where that leads to them. Now, before the NXT Heritage Cup match, we have, of course, William Regal once again having a nice conversation with Lexis King. However, the last time it brought into a disaster. We know that William Regal has some sort of issues towards his own son, more specifically Charlie Dempsey. Now, during the match, I have to say it was a fantastic match because somehow, whatever happened back then, Lexis King have learned a lot more better. Either was his training or his resilience. However, no one was able to pick up the first win at all during the first 4 rounds. It was 0-0-0. It was very astonished. However, when things got a little interesting, William Regal decided to hand over Lexis King a brass knuckles. But however, Lexis King was not having it whatsoever. But for some odd reason, um, William Regal just punched him, and of course the brass the Nux that was in the hands of Lexus King just flow off, and Dempsey just picks it up, and the ref thought in his perspective that Charlie Dempsey just whacked him, and automatically he was named the new NXT Heritage Cup champion. Now, I'm sure Charlie Dempsey would think many ways, but if I was him, I would definitely look at the tape, see that your own dad screwed you. And if he noticed that, I'm sure there's going to be a confrontation between those two. But we'll see how things will go. And I don't think Lexus King actually knew what just happened. So we'll see exactly where that progresses. Now, as we talk about the NXT number one contendership for the tag titles, we have OTM once again. As you know, they made now a play. They feel they're the ones who are the ones who are more deserving, and they feel they're the ones who get dethrone Nathan Frazier and Axiom. But we'll see what happens. Now, our next match is a women's tag team match. We have the Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, taking on Fatal Influences, Jay-Z Jane, and Jasmine Nix. Now, of course, they've been causing nothing but problems, but for some odd reason, the Unholy Union just made their appearance. But out of nowhere, we did see Shotzi, Gigi Dolan, and Tatum Paxley. Now, we don't know what's the extent of them being there, but of course, I'm sure that they are enjoying what they're watching. But they weren't the only ones. We did see Kaden Carter and, of course, Katana Chase watching too. So, but things got a little hectic the moment, of course, um, Katana and Kaden were close enough to the ringside, distracting Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix, leaving Jay-Z Jane defenseless while dealing with the Unholy Union by themselves, and the match ended just like that. But the real question is, also, there was something else. Shawn Spears was watching. I don't know what's the deal with that, but we will see. Now, as I mentioned, we have a number one contendership for the NXT Tag Team titles. North Quarter Catch Crew, Miles Bourne, and Tavian Hutz are ready for this, so I'm sure we'll see where that. They're team number 3 involved. Now, you all remember last time we saw Zaira and Sol Ruka. They teamed up. Zaira actually asked her, "Was it an accident that you hit me?" And of course, Ruka was willing to take responsibility for her actions. But Izzy Dame, who feels like this whole friendship thing is a load of crap and all that, including Shawn Spears, would agree with her. But Izzy Dame is not feeling anything for the love. She's been telling Shawn Spears, "Leave me the hell alone." So it seems like he's trying to recruit her, but I don't know. We'll see where that goes. But of course, Zaira told Izzy Dame, "Nope, I'm good. I'm fine." So we'll see where that goes from there. Now, our next match. Recently, we've been seeing these two guys confront each other on certain circumstances. Dion Lennox and Ashantadita Adonis. So they confronted each other on certain levels when it comes to Carmen, um, Carmen Petrovic, who's been doesn't know what to make this whole thing with Ashante, but of course, Dion Lennox being a bit of the brainy into the whole story, tries to make sense to the whole thing, but however, things were becoming a little back and forth. But we did see Nikita Lyons gets involved, decide to support Ashata Dion Lyons. He doesn't seem to think what the hell is going on here. Like he sees that he's supporting her, but why? So that kind of sets it up. But later we did see Ashata Adonis pin Dion Lennox in a bridge type maneuver. He was intending to grab the ropes, but he was worried the ref was going to catch him, so he won just like that. Now, of course, we did see. Now we have team number 4 involved in that number 1 contendership. Hank and Tank. That's right. We know these guys are a fun team. They enjoy getting into mayhem, so we'll see how that goes with them. Now we did see Shotzi, Tatum, and Gigi having a good time after what they just witnessed. They even come across Katana and Kaden talking about them. And then here comes Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson and all that stuff. So you know how that goes between them. So they've been going back and forth on this one. Now, our next match is number 1 contenders, a Christmas chaotic fatal 4-way for the number 1 contendership of the NXT Tag Team titles. We have Stax and Luca Cristofino of the D'Angelo family versus Bronco Lima and Lucian Price of OTM. No Quarter Cash Crew's Maya Bourne and Tavian Heights. And of course, we have Hank and Tank. So you can guess that this is a mayhem type of match. Basically, we see a lot of toys being used, even a bowling ball, which of course hurts like hell if you throw roll it down the groin of the individual. But unfortunately, something happened. We did see Santa Claus attack D'Angelo. I don't know what was that all about, but that led to distraction. Stacks was the one who ended up being on the wrong side when he was pinned by Price, and just like that, it was over. However, we did see it was Ridgeway Holland who actually attacked Tony D'Angelo. I'm going to presume that maybe he's aiming now for the NXT North American title. So we'll see where that goes. Now, before the end of the programming, we did see, of course, Trick William trying to make a promo. However, Oba Femi, as you know, has been dealing with. It's been aiming now for the NXT title and all this. And then here comes Eddie Thorpe, who is not letting go of the situation. However, of course, Trick Williams, who's the man of reasons, trying to say, look, Eddie, you and I have a problem. That's the path. So he's trying to say, let's worry about the now. And I have to say, Trick is right. The problem he's having is this: things did not go exactly according to Eddie Thorpe, and he keeps blaming others for his own misdeeds. And of course, but however, because of the situation, Trick thought in his mind, okay, let's deal with it another way. How about I take on the both of you in a three-way match for the NXT title? Of course, Oba Femi is the one guy who did not like that, but Eddie Thorpe has been looking for ways to try to get his hands on that title, but he cheated his own way to get a match by himself and all that, but that kind of worked. So our general manager Ava decided, why not? Let's make it happen. So we'll see what happens in New Year's Evil. But for now, we'll end things here. And of course, I mentioned before, there's new updates. So let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, I believe we do have AEW Dynamite. I'm going to presume that this event is pre-taped because I'm sure, because from my understanding, everybody is out on the holidays because it'll be Christmas. And yes, I will in fact be doing that too. So I'm not turning my back on that. No way. So we'll see how things will progress from there. Um, if there's any other events I want to review, there's few that I want to review, but we'll see where that leads us. So I hope everybody enjoys this one. But for now, let's just leave it as it is, and I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.